How does the group stay down to earth with their fans, and how have you guys stayed, down to earth?
Well, thank you for asking. I think that, it's been 27, 28 years. A few of us might have strayed for 5 or 10 minutes here or there, but over the course of the year, over the course of the run, I think it's, if anybody strays, you got the other 3 guys pulling them back down to earth. And the good thing is in this band is that you don't have any like hardcore casualties in this band. There's nobody who goes missing for a week at a time, or who wakes up in gutters, days in, days out, that type of stuff. You got a bunch of guys who, to begin with, are fairly responsible, and everybody sort of gets it. So if anybody sort of gets a little out of whack, they get a slap on the wrist, and they're right back in the rank and file again. It's all good.
Does anyone ever get fined?
10 push-ups. Yeah, if you're late for the lobby call, it's 10 push-ups. No, we don't believe in fines. We're just a bunch of guys who all get along and let each other have whatever space they need. But like I said, everybody usually shows up more or less where they're supposed to, when they're supposed to. So it works out pretty good, actually.
Any with the new year, any New Year's resolutions that you've made? Is that
I'm not a big believer in that type of stuff. No, this year, since we played in Oakland 3 weeks ago, I don't think I left. There was a point where I don't think I left my house for 2 weeks. And all this stuff about thank you for wishing me happy birthday and all that. But my birthday, New Year's Eve, I mean, it was as uneventful as you can imagine. I mean, New Year's Eve, nothing happened. My birthday, nothing happened. I stayed in my house for 2 weeks and watched movies. So there wasn't a lot of this year. We celebrated Christmas with the kids, but other than that, there wasn't a lot of fanfare around the other events there. So I don't remember what I did New Year's Eve. I think I just watched a movie and like chilled out with my family. Very quiet.
Any good movies that you've watched?
I've pretty much seen them all. You name them, I've seen them. I have a friend who gets the screeners, the Academy Award screeners. So we sat in my house for 2 weeks and basically watched 2 movies a day. Wow. So whatever movie's playing, I've seen it, and I can give you my thoughts on. Most of them were pretty good. It's good. Also, when you see 2 movies every day for 2 weeks, honestly, also it becomes a blur. Benjamin Button, yeah, okay, Doubt, okay, wait, Reservation Road, wait, okay, The Reader, okay, yeah, they were all pretty good. They were all pretty good.
Righteous Kill with De Niro and Pacino, have you seen it?
That one was not part of the Academy Award screenings. I think for a reason.
How was it a couple of years ago? You opened for the Rolling Stones.
That was an interesting couple of days. It was fun. I mean, it was great to play a couple shows where the focus was on somebody else. We showed up. We had a trailer out in the parking lot, and we had a small deli tray, and we sort of went up and played our 45 minutes, and then. One night we stuck around and saw most of the show, which was pretty cool. And the other night, the second night, I think we played at 7:45. I think at 9 o'clock I was back at my house reading my kids' bedtime stories. So it was kind of a different twist on the whole kind of experience, and I liked it. It's kind of fun. Get in early, get out early.
An hour ago, I'm hanging with Keith Richards.
Right.
Now I'm reading bedtime stories.
So it was a fun couple of days. We hadn't played live for just about a year, I think. I think it was the first thing we did after the end of the St. Anger cycle, and it was fun. I mean, it was they called up and said, "We're playing in San Francisco. Do you want to come play with us?" It was one of those we call a no-brainer. Metallica. It was like, duh. The Rolling Stones, of course. It was fun. Other than that, I can't tell you like stories of sitting in Keith Richards' room doing blow for 3 days. I mean, none of that happened. It was very, very cordial and very sort of PC, and there wasn't anything like you expect it. I'm gonna get invited up to Keith's room, and me and Keith and Ronnie are gonna sit and talk about 1969 for 6 hours. None of that happened.
Had that happened, the same experience on the And Justice tour,
Yeah.
would any of that other stuff would have happened?
You know what? Hopefully, another story to tell, another story to exaggerate. But it was like I said, I was back in the suburbs at 9:15. They were reading my kids' bedtime stories. So take that with you.
I hear Deep Purple is thinking about touring. Now this is all over the internet. Would you play drums for them if they had asked you?
I was asked that same question in a magazine interview about 6 months ago, and I sort of said, of course I would, just because I'm a huge fan. That would be such a humbling experience and so much fun. And then I guess, like you said, it hit the internet a week ago, and it's unbelievable, the power of the internet. It just blows my mind. Within 2 days of that, I mean, like, most of the stuff you hear on the internet is bullshit. I can say that on the radio, you can beep it out. And so you figure that if everybody knows it's bullshit, then nobody really takes any of it very serious. 2 members of Deep Purple actually responded to this publicly. Like, I got a message from my office that Richie Blackmore had called the office saying, like, there was no Deep Purple reunion, but thanks for being interested. I was like, wow. And John Lord posted on his website that, sorry to disappoint you, Lars, but, if there's going to be a Deep Purple reunion, should be with Ian Pace. Of course it should be with Ian Pace. I would advocate a Deep Purple reunion with Ian Pace, but the whole thing that the guy asked me in this interview was that they were thinking of getting the lineup together with Blackmore and Coverdale and Hughes and John Lord, who none of those 4 members are in Deep Purple. The only missing member is Ian Pace, who is still in Deep Purple. And I said, completely out of context and joking, they need a guy. I know the songs, and then of course it all gets taken completely out of context. Of course I would lay down in front of a train for Deep Purple, but I would be, as the world's biggest Deep Purple fan, I would be the #1 guy advocating that of course Ian Pace should play drums in a reformed Deep Purple, but Richie Blackmore was nice enough to leave a message at my office saying there is no Deep Purple reunion. So, like, either way, the fact that Richie Blackmore or members of his immediate office or whatever actually called my office still blows my mind when I think about the fact that I, to this day, 45 years later, still am the world's biggest Deep Purple fan. So it sort of put an amusing smile on my face in the last week as I watched all this take on a life of its own, which these things have a tendency to do, for better or worse, in the world of the internet and sort of as information travels across the globe in seconds. But of course Ian Pace should play the drums in Deep Purple, duh. But if for some reason he was not inclined to do so, I certainly volunteer myself, and I still do. So there you go.